Okay everyone, welcome back, and hey, look at this, what can I say? Apron Sesame by James. Wonderful gift from Nick, Charlotte, Brody and Summer, so thanks to them for that. I'm now becoming more and more famous. And as a celebration, today we're going to do a celebratory dish, to be honest with you. We're going to be doing a tray baked salmon dish. Very, very easy to do, but super, super tasty, like everything we do. So let's just go through the ingredients. So I'm going to have some salmon, one salmon per person. I've actually got some more here, so we're going to have 4 pieces of salmon, a couple of tomatoes, some asparagus, some lemon, some garlic, chilli again. I'll put a little bit in because the kids moan about it. We're going to have some basil. I've got prosciutto. This actually does normally call for pancetta, but on lockdown all I could get was this. We'll use it, it'll be okay, I'm sure. And I need some prawns. Again, try and get yourself raw prawns. These are raw tiger prawns. And then we'll just literally, we're going to cut things up, we're going to throw them in a tray, we're going to put some olive oil over them, we're going to stick them in the oven, and it's going to come out yummy. There we go. Okay, so first of all I've chopped some garlic, and I've done like I've done before on other videos, which is I have chopped it very thinly, then I put some salt on it, and I'm now going to basically just make it into a paste. So I can do that. Okay, so I've got that as a paste now. So that's my garlic done. I'm going to do tomatoes. Again, what we're going to do with these is, I'm not going to cut them too small, but I'm just going to cut them into a kind of a dice like that. Okay. Again, you can use cherry tomatoes for this. The cherry tomatoes work quite well. And again, I might put another tomato in. We'll have a look once I've got all this together. It's quite nice to have the few tomatoes in here, just because of the kind of the acidity that it brings. Okay, I've got that. I've got a lemon, and I'm going to just cut that into 4 pieces. Piece of chilli, again I'll just put a little bit in here because, as you know, my family aren't that fussed about chilli. I of course love it, but there you go. I always think if you cut it small enough, then you won't really taste it. And then what I'm going to do is, honestly, we're just going to throw kind of pretty much everything in. I've got a few other bits and bobs. I've got, actually, interestingly, so I've got some asparagus here. It's good at this time of year. And again, with asparagus, what you should be doing is you should really be kind of cracking it a little bit up where it naturally cracks, because what you don't want is the bit at the bottom is kind of often a little bit like woody and hard. So if you've got very thin asparagus, you don't need to do this, but I'm essentially just going to take a chunk of off the bottom there. That was roughly about the same sort of size as that. And then these are going to go in, and pretty much we're all just going to put it into a tray. That's what a tray bake is. So here we go. Oops. Right, so first of all, let's get some salmon in. Okay. Now this salmon does have skin on. Again, that's quite good. So we'll just put that. There's 2 pieces. I'm going to have 4 because I'm going to do this for 4. So there we go. 4 pieces of salmon. Prawns. There we go. All the prawns go in. I do love prawns, I've got to be honest. Asparagus goes in. Okay. My tomato goes in, along with a little bit of chilli. Okay. Oh, I don't want to spill any chilli. Then I've got the garlic. Okay, that goes in at that. I'm going to I've got 1 lemon here. I'm probably going to do another couple of another lemon, I think, because I do like lemons. Let me just get another lemon. Where's my lemons gone? Oh, here. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm just squeezing them and then just pushing the shell in. Okay, and then I'm just going to get my hands in. Oh, I know, mucky hands. But the point is, you need to get all of everything kind of just all mushed up together. Okay. The other thing I need to do is I need to lay the pancetta over the top, and I just put some olive oil on this. So let me just quickly wash my hands. Okay. So say normally I would use pancetta. For this, I've got some prosciutto. Again, what you're looking for really is just the kind of the saltiness of it. Now, when this goes in the oven, this is basically going to go in the oven for about 20 minutes or so. When you put it in the oven, this will kind of shrivel up and crisp, but it kind of gives off this just lovely salty loveliness, really, for want of a better description. So when the oven's on, I'm going to put that on at about, the oven will be on at about probably 190. No idea what that is in your other things, but there we go. Okay. And then get some olive oil, and again, this will just, I love olive oil, so a good old glug of that in there. Now, like I've done with other tray bakes, the thing I like to do is I do like to then get some of these elements and just stick them on the top. So you'll see that what I don't want is a piece of salmon with the skin side on it. I want that at the top, because what I want is I want that skin to try and crisp up a bit. So I don't want that covered with stuff. And again, if you want to just move things around and do that. And that, guys, is basically an amazing tray bake. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in the oven for probably 20-25 minutes. I've got some basil as well. It's often quite good. One of the little tricks you can do is to divide your basil up into two parts. Number one is the kind of the stalky part, which is this bit at the bottom. What I like to do is, because that can handle a little bit longer cooking, I'm just going to put that in there like this. And the tops I'm going to leave and put them in at the last minute, mush it all up, because otherwise these just kind of go away to nothing and you don't get any flavour whatsoever. I may put a little bit of pepper on it as well. You don't need too much salt at this stage, because there might be some salt from the prosciutto and stuff. And there we go, this is going to go into the oven and we'll see it once it's finished. Okay, so I often get asked, oh, when you cook something really nice, what is the difference between like an okay meal and a really nice meal? And it's things like this. And this is to go with the fish dish, and it's a salsa verde. Now you might look and go, oh, I don't need that. It's not. It just takes the whole thing to a different level and just tastes so much nicer. So it is genuinely worth the effort to do this. It enhances so many of the flavours. But there's a few ingredients here that you might go, oh, that's a bit of a faff, I'm not going to go and do it. Just spend the money and go and get these extra little bits. And the things I'm talking about here are things like capers and cornichon. Now again, they come in, we have them in the thing, they're easy to get. They last for ages in the fridge, and they do make a massive difference. This salsa verde, basically, which means a green sauce or green salsa, is just simply you're throwing everything into a processor, which I've got here. We've got some parsley, there's some basil, some mint, some garlic, as I say, just about a teaspoon of capers and a few cornichons, and then we're going to put some mustard in with that as well. We're then going to whiz it up, and you've done it. If you don't have one of these, and that's a lot of people don't have that, all you've got to do is you've just got to spend the time chopping. Just chop it as fine as you possibly can. You will end up with pretty much the same result. And then I'm going to put these in, and the cornichons go in, and then some mustard goes in. Okay, just a teaspoon of mustard really. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. Not going to put tons of olive oil in, and I'm going to put some basil in there as well really. And And essentially all I'm going to do is I'm going to, as I said before, I'm just going to literally whiz this up, and we should end up with a nice little sauce that will go. You can kind of drape it on top of the fish. Here we go. Okay, so I just tasted that, and then I realised that I haven't included any of the vinegar, which is a bit embarrassing. So I'm going to put in a tablespoon and a half maybe of vinegar on that. I'll probably have to add some more oil into this as well, because now it will be a little bit too liquid. There you go, that's much better. And that is exactly what it needs. A bit of salt. The other thing that I've often done with this one, which is really yummy, is to add some anchovies. Again, I know everyone, you don't eat anchovies, they're horrible. They are just such an amazing flavouring. Okay, and that. Oh, beautiful. There we go. That's the salsa verde. Right, we shall see you soon when everything is all done and dusted and cooked. Okay, so I've just boiled these lovely little baby potatoes here, and again, rather than just serving them just straight out of the pan, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shush them up a little bit. I'm going to put just a little bit of butter in there, okay, then I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to put a little bit of salt in there, and I'm going to put a little bit of lemon, okay, and then I'm basically just going to shush that around and almost like dress these potatoes. Now, one thing you can do actually is put a little bit of salsa verde in there, though the potatoes just, it's just so nice, especially actually you can have them cold the next day, and that's really tasty as well. So there's our potatoes looking all lovely and golden. I have had the fish things been in for actually I think about 30 minutes or so, and here we go. Come on, look at that. Wow, yum! Look at that, looks amazing, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is, you'll see here we've got crispy scutio, you've got these asparagus, the tomatoes, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix all this up a bit again. I'm going to put these, remember we had some basil leaves at the end? And I'm just going to get something to mix this up, and I'm just going to kind of mix that up, because what you do is you're mixing like a crazy yum. All this juice that's coming out is just, I mean seriously, it is just super tasty. Okay, and then what you can do is you can then serve it on each plate. I will just take this to the table looking like this, as long as this kind of juice is all kind of all sitting there, then people can take as much as they want. So there's our 3 component parts. We have this amazing salsa verde, potatoes, and the fish tray bake. Don't tell me that that is difficult to do, because it's not. It's super easy. It takes you about, well, I think Jamie Oliver does this one in about half an hour. It takes about 45 minutes as far as I'm concerned, but there you go. Honestly, try this one out. Yum, yum, yum.